They became close, spending every day together. Bright was always supportive of Jin, encouraging him in everything. When Jin's parents would pressure him about taking over the family business, Bright would be the one to say, "Don't worry, Jin. You don't have to do everything alone. I'll always be here to help." From that day on, their lives began to intertwine. Bright was older by 3 years, and with that, he had a sense of confidence that Jin deeply admired. He was kind, always helping people in the village, but with Jin, it was different. There was a connection between them that was unspoken, yet undeniable. Bright would visit Jin's family house often, sometimes under the pretense of helping with chores, but mostly just to spend time with him. Jin's parents didn't seem to notice how close they were becoming, or if they did, they didn't say anything. It wasn't long before their friendship turned into something deeper, something real. In their small town, people didn't always talk openly about love between two boys, but they found comfort in each other's arms, knowing they had something rare and beautiful. At first, it was just friendship. Bright would help Jin with anything he struggled with, whether it was chopping coconut, buy food from the market, or even just offering advice on how to handle his father's stern demands. Jin looked up to Bright, and as time passed, those feelings deepened into something he couldn't explain. Their friendship was special from the start, but it wasn't until that evening by the river that everything changed. They were sitting close, their legs almost touching, watching the sun set behind the mountains. The air was still and quiet, with only the soft sound of water flowing beside them. Jin was quiet, lost in his thoughts. He often felt like he was carrying so much his family's expectations, the pressure to fit in, the fear of being different. Bright could sense it, like he always did, and gently nudged him with his shoulder. "You've been quiet today," Bright said, glancing at him. "What's going on?" Jin shrugged, but it was clear something was bothering him. He didn't want to burden Bright with his worries, but Bright always had a way of pulling the truth out of him. "It's just, everything feels hard sometimes," Jin finally admitted. "My family, the village, I don't know if I belong here." Bright turned to him, his gaze soft but intense. "You don't have to do this alone, you know. You've got me." Jin looked at him, and in that moment, something clicked between them. It wasn't just friendship anymore. It was deeper, stronger, something neither of them had words for yet. Jin's heart pounded in his chest, and he felt a warmth spreading through him that he hadn't felt before. "I care about you, Jin," Bright said quietly. "More than anyone else." Jin's breath caught in his throat. He had never heard Bright speak like that before, but the words hung in the air between them, heavy with meaning. Jin looked down at the ground, trying to process what he was feeling, but before he could say anything, Bright reached out and took his hand. It was a simple gesture, but it felt like everything to Jin. His heart raced as he looked up at Bright, and he saw the same feelings reflected in his eyes. Without another word, they both knew. They knew this wasn't just friendship. This was love. From that moment, things between them changed. They began spending even more time together, finding secret places where they could just be themselves. Bright would sneak away from his friends to meet Jin in the forest or by the river, places where they could talk, laugh, and just enjoy each other's company without anyone watching. One evening, after spending the day helping Jin's family with some chores, Bright grabbed Jin's hand as they walked back to the river. The sun was setting again, casting a warm glow over everything. Bright led him to a quiet spot by the water where they sat together, side by side, their legs brushing. "I've been thinking a lot about us," Bright said, his voice low. "And I know it's not easy. I know what people would say if they knew, but I don't care. I love you, Jin." Hearing those words made Jin's heart swell with emotion. No one had ever said that to him before. He looked at Bright, his eyes full of uncertainty, but also hope. "I love you too," he whispered, barely able to believe he was saying it out loud. From then on, their relationship blossomed into something deeper. They couldn't be open about it, but they found ways to express their love in small, quiet moments. Like the time they spent an afternoon sitting under a big tree, Jin resting his head on Bright's shoulder while Bright softly hummed a song. Or the time they climbed up to the top of a hill, where the village couldn't see them, and Bright pulled Jin into a kiss that made him feel like the world had disappeared, and it was just the two of them.